All right, guys, to make our magical galactic syrup, it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of steps, but we're going to play a lot with temperature control. There's a lot of delicate elements in the syrup with these ingredients that I want to capture in that syrup that I really don't want to lose through heat. 300 grams of water, 100 grams of water, 250 grams of blackberries, 100 grams of raspberries, 5 grams of dried pea flour, 150 grams of white sugar, 150 grams of brown sugar, some spices. I have about 4 cardamom pods, 5 or 6 black peppercorns, some nutmeg to shave, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander, 1.5 grams soy lecithin, 1/2 gram of salt, and 4 grams of coconut oil, unrefined. So I have my little thermometer here. I took that 300 grams of water, the larger amount of water, and I have it just below boiling right now. And we're going to use that pea flour to make a tea that we're later going to mix in. So that 5 grams of pea flour, I'm going to just drop it right in that water there. Just leave it covered. It's just below boiling, right around 170, 180 degrees. Right around there, and I want to keep it there. So you're going to see me playing with the temperature a lot. So I'm trying to keep it right around that sweet spot, just below boiling. The pea flour is kind of a delicate thing. You don't have to be too gentle with it, but the way we want to use it, I really want to preserve as many of the compounds as I can. Pea flour is actually an acid indicator. So when we use it in the syrup, the idea is it's going to change color as it encounters acid, which is a little bit of a magical effect. That's always fun. But so right now, I'm going to let this brew for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to strain it out, put it aside, and we're going to add it. We're going to incorporate it later. So here we go. So I just added it in. I want to give it about 10-15 minutes. But while that's going on, I'm going to kind of work with some of the other ingredients that we're using. Let's see, it's already going too high. I want to go lower. So I have a heat-resistant surface. We're going to caramelize some of this sugar. So I had that 150 grams, or excuse me, 100 grams of, or however much sugar I have, I don't know. But I have the white sugar, and I'm just going to spread out a little bit. The heat-resistant surface here. And we're just going to kind of torch it a little bit. Just kind of burn it up. All right, so our pea flour tea has been going for about 15 minutes. It's going to be nice and rich and deep at a low temperature. Shouldn't be too bitter. Let's get this little guy out here. So we're just going to strain him off. All right, I have the container. I'm just going to strain that pea flour out. Look how dark this color is. Oh my goodness. So it's a dark, deep, almost blue color. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm only going to use about 100 grams of that. I'm going to equal the water that I'm adding to the fruit. So we're going to let it set aside, let it cool. All right, guys, the pea flour has been strained, so now we're ready for the fruit extraction part of the process. So I have the 100 grams of water, the smaller amount of water. I have that in the pot, and again, we're playing with temperature control, right? So I want this to be super, super low temperature. We're talking to 150 degrees. So I want to stay right in that range. And I'll tell you why. As I put the fruit in, and I'm going to cover it, keep kind of the volatile compounds out. So of course we have our raspberries. I'm going to dump those in there. We have our blackberries. I'm going to dump those in there. So I'm going to mix them in just a bit. All right. So if you make this at home, you're going to notice that 100 grams of water is nowhere near enough water to cover this fruit. So if we were boiling the juice out of this fruit, I would need a lot more water. But I don't want our syrup to be too watery. There's a certain amount of water we can use before our syrup becomes thin and watery. So in order to get all that fruit goodness, and raspberries and blackberries are about 85% water to begin with. So once we're done with this, the water content should be a lot higher. So I don't need to start with a high amount because I'm already going to extract some. So in order to do that, I want to use time, heat, and a little bit of salt. Almost forgot to throw my salt in there. I'm going to throw that salt right in there. Make sure that mixes up into that water. I'm just going to make sure everything's kind of tossed in there. I'm not breaking the fruit. I don't want to break the fruit yet. I cooked this for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm really watching my clock here, my temperature here, because it's very easy to go over 150 degrees. So I've got my cardamom pods. I'm going to kind of crack those open. And again, I don't need to pulverize the stuff. I just need to crack it open. Just help the liquid get to the germ, all the essential stuff. Take those black peppercorns. Going to kind of grind those down. I got my coriander. Time to start smashing berries. So let's try that out. So I'm not mashing aggressively, but at this point, all the fruit is covered. Keep doing that, just a little bit of moving, agitating. All right, guys, so we've been going for about 40 minutes now. I've mashed it. It's delicate, it's gentle. And now it's time to strain it. This is exactly what we want right here. So I a little over doubled my volume from the 100 grams. It's not quite as much as I wanted. So I'm going to keep making the syrup, and I think as we approach it, I'm going to add another 100 grams of water or so, something like that. Maybe even use more of the pea flour liquid to kind of enhance that water. But it's a nice, rich, enhanced thing. So I'm going to return it to the pot. And again, low temperatures, 150, 160, 170, somewhere around there. And I'm going to start infusing all those spices. So I have that crushed cardamom, the crushed black pepper that I used. Let's get that heat going back again. Some of that crushed coriander. I'll put that in there. I've just got a little bit of that nutmeg that I'm just going to shave some in there. I think that should be enough. Just comes to just a pinch, more or less. And something I forgot to mention before, but I'm going to put a piece of a banana peel in there. Not the whole thing, but maybe an arm of it, if you would say. Again, it's the banana peel, not the fruit. All right, guys, so the juice mixture has been steeping with the spices, the banana peel for 20 minutes or so. Again, low temperature. Yeah, between like 160, 170, 180, something like that. So now the time has come to strain it. Let's do that. Nice, rich, red, deep liquid. Not before. So I've got that right there. So let's return it to the heat. And now we're going to bring the sugar into the mix. So let's get this warm. Let's get that sugar in there. Nice brown sugar with the molasses, all that good stuff. I got my toasted caramelized sugar I'm going to incorporate right now. All right, so now we're just going to heat and stir, heat and stir. So while that's dissolving, I'm going to get ready for my next step. So I've got my coconut oil. I need this to be liquid coconut oil. I need to melt it. So we're going to heat it up. Coconut oil is melted. Mostly melted. Keep melting. All right, coconut oil ready. All right, so we're pretty much dissolved. We're just about there. So now I'm going to fold in our fat wash. So I'm going to use soy lecithin. That soy lecithin is an emulsifier, also a thickener. But the emulsifier, when I blend this into the liquid first, and then I blend in the coconut oil, the liquid should hold more of the coconut oil, giving it a silky, richer mouthfeel. So when I add this to the drink, it's not only going to add color, flavor, it's also going to add texture and body. Almost a way to do a gum syrup, almost. But now we are ready to do that. So just to make sure it evenly distributes, I'm going to put this soy lecithin. It's powdered. Ideally, I would use liquid, but I only have powdered. So I'm going to put it through a fine mesh sieve. All right, now this is fighting me a little bit. I say the lecithin is pretty incorporated, and now I'm just going to drizzle in my oil as I stir. So a little bit at a time is going to go a long way here. So by keeping the liquid hot, the oil has time to kind of emulsify into the liquid. Should be just about ready. So what I need to do next is wait for it to cool down, just to add those final little touches that we want to add. That's going to bring this syrup from here to here. Alright guys, so the syrup is cooled down pretty much to where we need it. It's not room temperature, but it's a little warm, but it's fine. And it smells great, deep, earthy. That rich berry, it's going to be so good. Now just for the finishing touches, after it cools down, once the heat is all done with it, you can put some more volatile things, like a little vanilla extract. It's going to help round some of these notes out just great. I'm really excited about it, so I'm going to put a half a teaspoon in there. Not too much, you can always add, can't take away. So I'm going to taste that in just a second. I have about another half a gram of salt. I'm going to give that a little stir, make sure that is all incorporated. The last little thing is just a touch of blackstrap molasses. Now, I'm not adding this for sweetness. I'm just going to add like a drop or two, just barely any. It's going to give this a little, just support the essence of being like an aged spirit, like a little rum is in there, which is what I want. So I'm just going to put a little tiny itty bitty bit in there. Almost nothing. That's it. I'll give it all a stir. Right now, this is amazing, beautiful, wonderful, magical galactic syrup.